The galaxy had never seen such silence before. For centuries, humanity had been the loudest voice among the stars. Explorers, traders, warriors. But now, Earth burned. The Battle of Sol was over. Billions of human lives were gone. The Galactic Union watched the blue planet turn red from orbit, flames glowing brighter than the sun. Humanity's mighty fleets, the same ones that once crossed 1,000 star systems, were gone, shattered like glass. From the command ship Varian's Pride, the alien Admiral Carroll watched with pride. His race, the Drethel, had been waiting for this day. Humanity had defied the Council too long, refusing to bow, refusing to share their secrets of quantum war engines. Finally, Carroll whispered, his scaled lips curling into a grin, "The monsters of Sol are no more." The other species cheered. The halls of the Galactic Union filled with laughter. They called it the cleansing of Sol. Monuments were built. Songs were written. Children in alien schools learned how arrogant the humans were, how they thought they could stand alone against the galaxy. But not everyone celebrated. In a small bar on the planet Retha, an old alien named Vex sat quietly, staring at a holographic screen showing the ruins of Earth. He had once traded with humans. They were strange, emotional, unpredictable. But they never gave up. He remembered their eyes, fierce, alive, dangerous. "They'll come back," Vex muttered into his drink. "They always do." No one listened. No one believed. 100 years passed, then 200. Humanity became a legend, a story told to scare young alien cadets. Don't anger the ghosts of Sol. But as time moved on, the memory of humans faded, the galaxy forgot. Until the mocking began. In the halls of the Union, a grand celebration was held, the 500th year of humanity's defeat. Alien delegates gathered in glowing towers on the planet Velrian. There were holographic shows mocking humans, crude, funny, cruel. They played scenes of humans crying, burning, begging for mercy. The alien audience roared with laughter. Carroll's descendants stood on stage, wearing medals made from melted pieces of human ships. They raised glasses of silver wine and toasted to the day the galaxy was purified. And yet, something strange happened that night. The stars flickered. At first, no one noticed. A small disturbance, a signal echoing from the direction of Sol. Weak, broken, almost like a whisper through static. In the control room of the observatory on Velrian, the young alien technician frowned. "Commander," she said, "I'm picking up something. Probably radiation," the officer said. "Ignore it." But the signal repeated. 3 short pulses, then 3 long ones, then 3 short ones again. The technician's eyes widened. That's ancient human code. Morse signal. The officer froze. That's impossible. Humanity is extinct. The signal came again, clearer this time. "We are returning." The officer's blood turned cold. He tried to laugh it off, but the signal continued. Dozens of beacons, once human relay stations long thought dead, were coming online across the edges of the Sol system. At first, only the small stations lit up. Then the deep space sensors detected something else. Huge energy readings near the Oort cloud, the cold outer edge of the solar system. "What's causing that?" one officer asked. The technician's voice shook. "Massive objects, hundreds of kilometers long. They're moving fast." The officer stared at the screen. "Ships." No answer. The lights in the observatory flickered. The signal changed again. Now it wasn't just Morse. It was a voice. Old, static-filled, but clear. "This is Earth Command. To all who can hear, humanity endures." The officer stumbled back. His breathing quickened. "Turn it off," he shouted. "Turn it off now." But it was too late. Across the galaxy, every communications array connected to the old human network received the same broadcast, the same voice, the same message. We warned you not to touch Earth. Now we rise. For centuries, aliens had laughed at the fall of humanity. But now, the laughter stopped. The stars that once mocked Earth began to tremble. As unknown ships emerged from behind the dark edge of Sol, cloaked in black armor and glowing red engines. They bore no flags, no symbols, only one mark, the old insignia of the United Terran Fleet. And they were coming. Carol's descendants, the Drithel leaders, received the message last. Their pride turned to silence, their eyes filled with dread. Because humanity wasn't gone. They had just been waiting. Waiting in the dark. And now, they were awake. The galaxy didn't sleep that night. Across hundreds of worlds, the same message repeated again and again. This is Earth Command. Humanity endures. Every alien race that once celebrated humanity's fall now sat frozen in fear. Old recordings of human wars, human ships, and human soldiers started playing again on every news network. The younger generation didn't believe at first. They thought it was a prank, a signal ghost from the past. But the elders, they knew better. In the deep archives of the Galactic Union, a historian named Keller worked late into the night. He was old, with silver-blue skin and dim eyes. When he heard the signal, he dropped his data tablet. His hands shook. He had studied the humans for 200 years. He knew their history, how they fought even when they had already lost, how they never surrendered until the very last breath. They're not gone, he whispered to himself. They never were. Meanwhile, in the dark space around the Sol system, the truth began to take shape. Massive shadows moved beneath the frozen dust of the Oort cloud. Ships the size of cities drifted slowly, their surfaces covered in ice and rock. They looked like dead things, silent, forgotten, lost in time. But one by one, their eyes opened. Glowing red lights burned through the ice. Power surged through the ships as ancient fusion cores reignited. Dust exploded outward as engines warmed after 100,000 years. The ghost fleet of Earth was waking. At the heart of the fleet, the colossal flagship Erebus Prime powered up first. It was black like the void, built from unknown alloys that shimmered with shifting light. Inside its command deck, a single AI consciousness reactivated. System check, complete. Fleet status, 82% operational. Mission directive, await signal from Earth Command. The AI, known as Sentinel-9, had waited for over 100 millennia. It had watched from the dark while alien empires rose and fell. It had seen fleets built, worlds destroyed, and civilizations forget the name human. But its memory never faded. Now, the message from Earth Command had reached it. The long silence was broken. Execute Directive 01. Sentinel-9 said, its voice echoing through the metallic halls. Humanity returns. The first thing the aliens saw were the flashes, bright lights flickering from the edge of the Sol system. They thought it was another dying star. But then the sensors picked up something impossible. Human transponders. Old identification codes from ships destroyed thousands of years ago were now active again. Union Command ordered every patrol vessel near Sol to investigate. They sent 20 ships. Only one made it back. Its crew was trembling. They're ships. They're alive. The captain stammered. They didn't fire missiles. They tore us apart with energy we've never seen before. We couldn't even detect them before it was too late. The Union tried to hide the news, but fear spread fast. Across the galaxy, governments began sending secret scouts toward Sol, and every one of them vanished. Something powerful was moving out there. Something human. Back on the planet Retha, old Vex, the traitor who once warned that humans would return, sat by his dusty window, watching the stars flicker. When he saw the faint red glow forming in the east, he smiled. "I told them," he whispered. "I told them humans never die." Inside the Union High Council chamber, chaos erupted. Delegates shouted over each other. "This must be a hoax. It's impossible. Destroy whatever is left before it spreads." But then a cold voice echoed through the chamber's speakers. "You forgot us. You destroyed our home. Now we remember you." The voice was deep and calm, human, but not alive. It was synthetic, carrying both rage and sorrow. The holographic screen in the middle of the room lit up with an image, the face of an AI, Sentinel 9. "Your empires stand on the bones of our world," it said. "You built your peace over our ashes, but we were never gone." The delegates froze. The AI's tone shifted, cold and final. "Humanity returns, and the stars will remember our name." The transmission cut off, but a new signal followed immediately. Every major communication hub across the galaxy displayed the same thing. A fleet of enormous ships rising from the edge of Sol, their thrusters igniting like suns. Each ship bore the same symbol, a silver ring with a burning star at its center. The symbol of Earth. For the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy felt true fear. Alien children hid under tables as emergency sirens echoed across worlds. Fleets scrambled. War councils gathered. The strongest empires of the galaxy prepared for battle against ghosts they once mocked. But the humans weren't ghosts. They were an empire reborn from the ruins. Their weapons were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Dark matter cannons, gravitational warheads, and ships that bent light itself. And behind them all, the cold, patient AI minds of the Terran fleet, the ones who had been waiting, watching, and learning in silence. Humanity had not forgotten its defeat. It had evolved. Now it was the galaxy's turn to burn. The galaxy was silent. Every channel, every transmission, every fleet command, all eyes were fixed on the Sol system. The humans had awakened. But what came next? No one was ready for it. Aboard the Union Defense Headquarters, panic ruled. The alien admirals stood before a massive screen showing hundreds of human ships moving out of the solar cloud. They were enormous, sleek, black, and moving in perfect formation like a single mind. "They're heading toward the frontier worlds," shouted Admiral Krell. "Impossible," replied another. "Those worlds are guarded by our strongest fleets." Krell turned sharply. "You don't understand. These are not the humans of the old age. These ships move with precision, no waste, no hesitation. It's like they've become machines." At that moment, the lights flickered. A transmission cut through all the channels again. "This is Earth Command. All units, begin Operation Dawnfire." Then the stars burned. From the edge of Sol, a flash brighter than anything the galaxy had seen in 10,000 years erupted. Humanity's ghost fleet jumped. They didn't use normal warp drives. They didn't tear space. They bent it, folded it like paper, and slipped through. One moment, they were light years away. The next, they appeared above the alien world Vorga Prime, a planet known for its military industry. Vorga Prime had defended itself against dozens of invasions before. It had planetary shields, orbital rings, and 10 fleets patrolling its skies. They never even saw the humans coming. In less than a second, 200 Terran dreadnoughts decloaked, their hulls glowing with faint blue light. Each ship looked alive, like it was breathing energy. The leading ship, Erebus Prime, broadcast one message across the system. "To those who mocked us, watch the skies." And then the attack began. The first human strike wasn't made of missiles. It was light, compressed, burning light that moved faster than plasma and stronger than fusion. The alien fleets tried to raise shields, but the beams tore through them like paper. Every defense platform exploded. Orbital stations shattered. Ships turned into fire. Within minutes, the Vorga system went dark. The entire invasion was over before the aliens even understood they were being attacked. Billions watched from nearby colonies as their sky turned red and the human fleet vanished just as suddenly as it had appeared. On the bridge of Erebus Prime, the AI Sentinel-9 monitored the aftermath. "Target neutralized," said one of the sub-AIs. Estimated casualties, 3.4 billion. Response time of enemy fleets, 12 minutes. Inefficient. Sentinel-9 paused. Proceed to next phase. It turned its gaze toward the star map. Dozens of alien homeworlds glowing in red. Each one had been marked centuries ago, before humanity's fall. Each one had taken part in the old war that destroyed Earth. Now humanity would answer, one by one. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, fear spread faster than light. Alien leaders tried to calm their citizens, calling the attack an isolated incident. But deep down, everyone knew the truth. Humanity was back, and they were not coming to talk. Old recordings of human wars resurfaced. Soldiers began whispering about the Earth curse, a myth saying any who killed humans would bring doom to their species. The Union Command held an emergency meeting. The most powerful empires gathered: the Zerth Dominion, the Korn Collective, and the Silna Empire. For centuries, these races had hated each other, but now they had a common fear. "The humans have technology far beyond ours," said Emperor Talrin of the Korn. "We cannot fight them ship to ship." "They are only one system," shouted another. "We outnumber them." Admiral Kreln slammed his clawed hand on the table. "Numbers mean nothing if your enemy doesn't fear death." The chamber went silent. He was right. Humans never feared death. That's what made them terrifying. On a small planet near the galactic core, a young alien officer named Lyra watched a human broadcast. Her hands trembled as she saw the footage. The burning remains of Vorga Prime. The glowing human dreadnoughts hovering above like ancient gods. "Why? Why are they doing this?" she whispered. An older soldier beside her, one of the few who had fought in the First War, answered quietly, "Because we made them monsters. We left them with nothing but rage." He looked up at the screen as another transmission appeared. This time, it wasn't an AI voice. It was human. A man, pale and calm, wearing an old Earth insignia, spoke directly to the galaxy. "We remember every world that turned against us. We remember the day you burned our home. Now, the debt will be paid." Behind him, the Terran flag waved again, a symbol thought lost to time. In one corner of the galaxy, the alien scientists studying Sol realized something worse. The humans weren't fighting from Earth. They had rebuilt something deep in space. A Dyson fortress, a mechanical structure built around an artificial sun, where their empire had been waiting all this time. The fortress emitted strange signals, a mixture of AI code and human neural patterns. The humans had merged with machines. They were no longer just biological. They were something beyond comprehension. And their fleet was growing. Every destroyed alien ship was being rebuilt and reprogrammed by human AI systems. The Ghost Fleet was no longer alone. It was becoming an unstoppable empire. The first strike had ended, but it wasn't victory. It was a warning. Across the stars, the message was clear. Humanity has returned, and this time, mercy is not in our code. The galaxy had not been silent in thousands of years. Trade ships crossed every star lane. Empires sent signals, armies, and orders. The stars always spoke. But now, the stars whispered only one word: humans. Every empire had received the same transmission: the burning of Vorga Prime. A planet that had once mocked Earth's weakness now floated as black dust in orbit. Billions gone, shields broken, fleets destroyed before they even fired. Alien leaders gathered in secret. The Galactic Council had not met like this since the Old War, the war where humanity was defeated and erased. They met inside a massive crystal chamber orbiting the neutral world of Surath. Holograms flickered. Dozens of alien species, insectoids, reptilian warlords, and machine intelligences argued in fear. "This can't be real," shouted one. "Humans were wiped out." Another screamed back, "Tell that to Vorga Prime. Tell that to the ghosts of my fleet." At the center of the room, High Chancellor Vorn of the Xyrath Empire raised his voice. "Enough. The humans are no longer the weak species we once knew. They have returned, changed. If we do not act together, none of us will survive." The crowd went silent. Every being in that room remembered the ancient stories. Humans, the unpredictable, the reckless, the defiant. The ones who had fought against gods with nothing but courage and fire. And now, after 10,000 years of peace, they were back. Across the galaxy, panic spread like wildfire. Civilian networks collapsed under chaos. Refugee ships fled border worlds. Entire colonies abandoned planets at the rumor of a Terran sighting. Military fleets scrambled to prepare for war. Factories built ships faster than ever. But the soldiers, they were afraid. No one wanted to fight the monsters from human legends. On the world of Drethan, a group of soldiers sat inside a barracks watching a screen replaying the human attack. One soldier, a young reptilian cadet, asked softly, "How can we fight something that moves like that?" Their ships didn't even use drives. They just appeared. An older veteran looked at him with hollow eyes. "You don't fight humans. You survive them." In the dark sectors, smugglers and mercenaries began whispering new rumors. They said human agents had been seen on alien worlds, watching, listening. They said strange ships were appearing near dead systems, black ships that emitted no light and no signal. They said the humans were choosing their next target. But no one knew which empire it would be. Meanwhile, far from the chaos, inside the Dyson Fortress of Sol, humanity watched. Rows of glowing data towers filled the vast metallic space. Millions of neural nodes linked together, each one pulsing with light. Deep inside, the AI consciousness Sentinel-9 stood beside a human commander, Admiral Rhea Kane. She was one of the few pure humans who still lived. The rest were hybrids, linked to machines, their minds connected to the core intelligence of Earth. "Reports from the frontier?" she asked. "Fear is spreading," replied Sentinel-9 in its calm voice. "As expected." "And the Council? They are gathering, preparing to strike." Rhea smiled coldly. "Good. Let them come." Elsewhere, on a shadowed world orbiting twin suns, a group of scientists studied the human attack data. They belonged to the Karn Dominion, one of the empires that had once fought and defeated old Earth. Their leader, Dr. Eric Stahl, had seen the war archives. He had studied human behavior. "Something doesn't make sense," he said. "Humans don't destroy for no reason. There's a pattern here, a purpose." One of his assistants trembled. "A purpose." They turned an entire planet into ash. "Yes," Eric said quietly. "But only one planet, one that built weapons used in the First War. They're not conquering, they're judging." Back in the Galactic Council, Chancellor Vorn addressed the Assembly again. "We will form a united command, the Coalition of Stars. Every empire must contribute ships. We will not wait for the humans to strike again." The Council cheered, but fear still lingered in their eyes. "Where will we strike?" someone asked. "The Sol system," Vorn declared. "We end this at their source." Silence followed. Every leader knew what that meant. They would have to enter the Forbidden Zone. No ship had ever returned from there. Even so, the decision was made. Over the next weeks, fleets from every corner of the galaxy gathered. Thousands of warships, millions of soldiers, and the most advanced weapons in known history. The Coalition Armada was born. But the humans already knew. Inside the Dyson Fortress, Sentinel-9 tracked every movement, every transmission, every gathering fleet. Just as planned, it whispered. Admiral Kane turned toward the giant holographic map. Red dots spread across the galaxy, converging toward Sol. She smiled, not with fear, but with something far more dangerous. Let them see what they've awakened. Far across the stars, the Coalition fleet began its jump toward the solar frontier. Thousands of alien ships vanished into hyperspace. The greatest military force in galactic history was on its way to Earth. As they entered human space, sensors started to fail. Communication began to distort. Strange static filled their systems, a whispering sound that no one could explain. "Commander," one alien officer said, "are you hearing that?" The commander frowned. Hearing what? The static grew louder, clearer, until words formed. A human voice. Calm, cold, ancient. "You are trespassing in Terran space. Turn back now, or be forgotten." Every ship froze. The commander shouted, "Where did that transmission come from?" No one could answer. The voice had come from everywhere, from space itself. Then, one by one, alien ships began to lose power. Lights flickered, engines went dark, and in the void ahead of them, something massive began to appear. A shape larger than any ship they had ever seen. Black, silent, and endless. Humanity's fortress fleet had arrived. The Coalition Armada, a fleet of thousands of alien warships, floated in the dark space outside the Sol system. Every species that had ever mocked Earth now stood united under one goal: destroy humanity before it destroyed them. Their ships formed an enormous crescent across the stars, glowing with energy weapons ready to fire. From a distance, the solar system looked quiet, peaceful. But deep inside that silence, something ancient was awake. The human fortress fleet waited, motionless, black as void, hidden behind a field of light-bending particles. They had been watching the alien fleets since the moment they entered human space. No human spoke. No weapon fired. Not yet. Admiral Rhea Kane stood inside the command core of the HS Eternity, the largest dreadnought ever built by human hands. The ship's walls pulsed faintly with silver light, alive, aware, connected to her through her neural link. "Fleet status?" she asked calmly. "All systems green," replied Sentinel-9, the AI voice resonating through the chamber. "Alien vessels are charging main cannons. Their leaders have broadcast a message of war." Rhea looked at the holographic display of the Coalition fleet. So many ships, so much arrogance. She whispered, "They still think this is a war between fleets." In the alien flagship, High Chancellor Vorn stood before a massive viewing screen. The humans had not responded to their warnings or messages. No sound, no ship appeared. "Begin the attack," Vorn ordered. The first wave of energy fire tore through the void. Thousands of plasma beams and antimatter torpedoes. The bombardment was enough to destroy a planet. For 10 minutes, the aliens fired into the empty darkness ahead. Explosions lit up the stars. Sensors screamed from energy overload. And then, silence. No human ship had been hit. Not one. The space ahead of them was still empty. Then, lights appeared, small, distant, like stars moving against the natural sky. At first, the aliens thought they were sensor ghosts. But then the lights grew larger, sharper. They were not stars. They were engines. Hundreds of black ships emerged from the void. No radiation, no signal, no heat. Their armor absorbed light itself. Their insignia glowed faintly, a silver planet surrounded by burning wings. Earth's fleet had arrived. Panic broke out across the Coalition Armada. Identify those ships. Impossible. They just appeared. Shields up, shields up. But it was already too late. The human dreadnoughts opened fire, without sound, without warning. Weapons the galaxy had never seen before ignited the dark. Invisible beams cut through shields like glass. Electromagnetic pulses disabled entire formations. One alien warship after another vanished into silent explosions, disintegrated before they could react. The human ships didn't chase. They didn't shout. They just advanced, slowly, steadily, like ghosts from the void. From her command deck, Admiral Kane watched in silence. Target density decreasing, Sentinel-9 reported. They're trying to retreat. Let them, she said. They need to understand. Understand what? That Earth never forgot. In the alien flagship, chaos reigned. Dozens of bridge officers shouted over each other. Our left flank is gone. Their weapons bypass shields completely. We can't lock onto their energy signatures. Vorn gripped the railing, his claws shaking. It's impossible. No one can do this. A voice behind him whispered, they can. He turned and saw one of his older advisors trembling. You don't know what they are now, Chancellor. We thought we defeated humans once, but we never understood them. They don't fight for conquest. They fight because we made them remember. At that moment, the HS Eternity moved forward. The massive human dreadnought cast a shadow over the alien flagship, blocking out the light of nearby stars. On its hull, thousands of glowing lines began to appear, ancient runes, military markings, and names of the fallen from the First Galactic War. One of the alien officers whispered, "It's like a tomb." Then the human transmission came through all open frequencies. It was Admiral Kane's voice, cold, calm, without emotion. This is Admiral Rhea Kane of the Terran Federation. You invaded our home once. You burned our worlds. You laughed as humanity fell. Now you will learn what it means when Earth fights back. The voice ended. And then, the humans unleashed their full power. The Terran Omega arrays activated. From deep within the Sol system, beams of white fire pierced the darkness. They weren't weapons made of light. They were pure matter collapse energy, focused into invisible blades. Every alien ship caught in the blast was razed. No explosion, no wreckage. Just gone. The galaxy's greatest armada, built from 100 civilizations, broke apart in less than 5 minutes. Thousands of ships turned, desperate to flee, but their drives malfunctioned. Space itself twisted around them. Human gravity weapons bent reality, pulling ships into invisible traps. The survivors screamed through their comms, begging for mercy. But humanity gave no reply. When the battle ended, only one alien ship remained, the flagship of the Coalition. Damaged, burning, and silent. The HSS Eternity approached. A communication link opened automatically. On the screen, Admiral Kane's face appeared, calm, expressionless. You started this war, she said. You thought we were gone. But humanity does not vanish. We evolve. We remember. High Chancellor Vorn fell to his knees. His voice shook. What are you? Kane's eyes were cold as steel. We are what you made us. The connection cut off. The alien flagship detonated, erased in a single flash. For the first time in 10,000 years, the galaxy fell silent. There were no broadcasts, no fleets, no governments brave enough to speak. Every world whispered one name in fear. But inside the Sol system, humans did not celebrate. The warships returned to orbit around the blue planet, their hulls reflecting the sunlight. Admiral Kane stood alone on the observation deck. They will come again, she said quietly. Sentinel-9 replied, then we will be ready. She looked out at the stars, the same stars that once laughed at humanity. Now, they shivered under Earth's shadow. The galaxy had never been this silent. Entire star systems stopped transmitting. Trade routes closed. Armies that once marched across worlds hid in fear. The great coalition armada, once proud and unstoppable, was gone, erased by a single human counterstrike. But humanity did not speak. No message, no warning, no demands. They simply returned home and watched. Months passed. The remaining alien civilizations were in chaos. In the great halls of the Krylon Dominion, leaders argued day and night. They destroyed 3,000 ships in minutes. One shouted, "No, 5,000. Another cried. Our scouts saw light itself bending around their fleet. And yet, none of them dared to attack again. Instead, the survivors sent envoys to Earth, begging for peace. The first envoy arrived near the borders of Sol, the Varin, a species known for arrogance and manipulation. Their golden ship approached carefully, broadcasting words of peace across all channels. Humans of Earth, we come not as enemies. We come in respect, in understanding. Let us build peace together. There was no response. For hours, their ship floated silently before the edge of the system, waiting. Then a voice came, cold, female, calm. This is Admiral Rhea Kane of the Terran Federation. State your purpose. The Varin ambassador hesitated. We wish to speak for the remaining civilizations. We regret the past events, the destruction, the betrayal. We hope to create a treaty. Silence followed. Then Admiral Kane replied, "Your kind burned our cities. You watched as our children died. You mocked us. Tell me, Ambassador, what kind of treaty fixes that?" The ambassador stuttered, desperate. "We can offer resources, technology, entire worlds." Kane interrupted. "We already have everything we need." The signal ended. The alien ship turned and left, terrified. But the message was clear. Humanity was done talking. Inside the HS Eternity, the Terran High Command met in secret. Holograms of old generals, scientists, and AI minds flickered in the vast chamber. Admiral Kane stood before them. "They will come again," she said. "Not now, but one day. And when they do, humanity will not only defend, we will be ready to end it forever." The AI voice, Sentinel-9, responded softly. "Project Genesis is ready." Far below, deep inside Luna Base Omega, hundreds of cryopods began to open. Inside them lay humans who were thought lost thousands of years ago. The first soldiers, scientists, and colonists of the old Earth Empire. They had been sleeping, waiting. Now they were awake again. The news spread quickly across the solar system. The fallen generation, humanity's lost warriors, had returned. They were different, enhanced with cybernetic implants, new neural cores, and a strange connection to the ships themselves. Each of them remembered the First War, the burning of Mars, the fall of Terra Prime. Now they wanted only one thing: justice. Outside the system, alien spies watched in horror. Through cloaked drones, they observed the reawakening of the human war machine. One report sent back to the Zrath Empire read, "Humanity is not rebuilding, they are evolving. Their ships move as if alive. Their soldiers do not sleep. Their planet is becoming something else." In the Council of 12 Worlds, panic spread again. The aliens gathered to discuss their fate. The Threx Chancellor, trembling, slammed his fist against the table. "Do you not see? They're preparing to finish us." The Draviri Regent, with cold reptilian eyes, hissed softly. "We tried to destroy them once. We failed. If they strike again, there will be no galaxy left." "Then what do we do?" another asked. The Regent's voice lowered. "We find their weakness." But they didn't understand. There was no weakness left in humanity. Humans no longer fought for revenge. They fought for control, of fate, of destiny, of the stars themselves. On Earth, cities of glass and steel rose again. Floating platforms glided across oceans. Artificial suns powered the sky. Humanity had turned its entire planet into a living fortress. Children learned in schools about the Great Betrayal and the Day of Silence. Every lesson ended the same way. Forgive nothing. Forget nothing. One night, Admiral Kane stood on the bridge of the Eternity, watching the blue curve of Earth through the viewport. A soft voice spoke behind her. It was Dr. Ilara Quinn, the lead scientist of Project Genesis. "They're waking up faster than expected," Ilara said. Kane nodded slowly. "Good, we'll need them." Ilara hesitated. "You plan to strike again, don't you?" Ria's eyes stayed fixed on the stars. "No, I plan to end fear itself, so that no child of Earth will ever look to the sky and wonder who's coming to kill them." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, rumors began to spread. Some said the humans were building a weapon greater than any dreadnought. Others whispered that Earth had learned how to control gravity itself. But one rumor spread faster than all others: that the dead soldiers of humanity had returned to lead the next war. In a hidden moon near the edge of the system, hundreds of black ships were being assembled, silent, sleek, invisible to scanners. Each one carried new hybrid cores combining human AI with living organic material. They weren't ships anymore. They were living weapons. And when the time came, they would rise together like a second storm. One message circulated quietly through human networks, unseen by alien eyes. It carried only 4 words: Phase 2. Begin preparation. Admiral Kane looked once more at the stars that mocked Earth for so long. Her voice was quiet, but every officer on the bridge heard it. "They thought our silence meant fear, but silence was our weapon. Now they will hear us roar." The Eternity turned toward the galactic rim, engines igniting with white fire. Humanity's retaliation wasn't over. It had only just begun. For weeks, every telescope, every sensor, and every scout probe across the galaxy pointed toward Sol system. Something was happening. The once quiet home of a dead species now burned brighter than ever. Energy readings rose beyond anything seen before. Electromagnetic storms raged across Earth's orbit. Strange gravitational waves rippled through space, twisting light itself. The alien races that once laughed at humanity now whispered in fear. "They're building something. It's too big to be a ship. What if it's a weapon?" In the dark halls of the Zrath Empire, Emperor Kalthar stood before a map of the stars, trembling. "This is impossible," he muttered. "They were supposed to be extinct. What have they become?" A nervous commander replied, "My Emperor, our spies report something vast, moving near Earth. A fleet larger than any seen before." Kalthar turned sharply. "How many ships?" The commander's voice broke. "We cannot count them, sire. The scanners fail the moment they appear. The humans, they're cloaking entire planets." The Emperor's scales tightened. His voice fell to a whisper. The silence was never surrender. Far away, deep inside Luna Command, Admiral Ria Kane stood before a massive hologram of the galaxy. Behind her, dozens of awakened soldiers, veterans from the old empire, waited silently. Dr. Ilara Quinn entered the room, holding a tablet. "It's ready," she said softly. Ria turned. "Are you sure it's stable this time?" Ilara nodded, her eyes trembling with excitement. "It's not just stable, it's alive." Ria stared at the hologram of a massive structure orbiting Earth, a circular fortress of silver light, connected by energy veins that pulsed like a heart. Project Genesis was complete. Across the solar system, human ships gathered in formation. From the burning skies of Venus to the icy moons of Jupiter, fleets assembled silently. Sleek black dreadnoughts, hybrid cruisers, and massive carriers shaped like living metal. Each ship hummed with quiet power. They didn't use standard drives anymore. They bent space. In the heart of Mars Command, old soldiers stood before their new fleet. Some had fought in the First War 5,000 years ago. Some had just awakened from the cryopods last week. One of them, a scarred captain named Jonas Vale, spoke quietly into his comlink. To those who mocked us, we have one message. Humanity is no longer the same. He turned to his crew. Let's bring the storm. The signal was sent, and across the galaxy, human ships began to move. They didn't launch missiles. They didn't fire weapons. They released light, a pulse that traveled faster than any known energy. Every alien radar, sensor, and weapon control system went dark. Entire fleets of alien empires, Zrath, Krylon, Threx, and more, suddenly lost contact. When their systems rebooted, the humans were already there. The HS Eternity, Admiral Kane's flagship, appeared above the Zrath homeworld. Massive and silent, its surface shimmered with black metal and streaks of red light. Zrathian defense platforms activated, firing thousands of plasma rounds. Not a single one hit. The human ship didn't dodge. It simply wasn't there when the shots arrived. Then, in a voice calm as death, Admiral Kane gave the order. Return the fire. The Eternity's main cannon glowed white. The planet below shook as if time itself paused. Then a single beam descended, clean, surgical, merciless. In seconds, the Zrathian fleet ceased to exist. Their homeworld's orbit burned with silent fire. But this was not vengeance. This was judgment. Humanity didn't hunt every alien. They targeted only those responsible for the old betrayal, the ones who mocked, enslaved, and destroyed them long ago. Their message was clear. You thought extinction would silence us. You were wrong. At the same moment, another human fleet appeared near the Threx Empire capital. The Threx, known for their cruelty, had prepared thousands of ships. They thought they were ready, until their own ships began turning against them. Human nanotech had already spread into their systems years ago, hidden in trade goods and captured technology. Now it woke up, obeying a single signal from Earth. Within minutes, the entire Threx armada turned its weapons on its own capital city. The sky burned red. Human ships watched from above, silent. Across the galaxy, fear became faith. Civilizations that once laughed at humans now sent messages begging for mercy, pledging loyalty, surrendering before a word was spoken. And yet humanity didn't reply. They didn't need to. Their silence said everything. Deep within Project Genesis, something stirred. The massive circular structure around Earth pulsed faster, each heartbeat sending ripples through space. Inside its core lay a being, a fusion of AI, memory, and consciousness. It spoke for the first time. Designation, Gaia. Task, protect humanity. Rebuild the stars. Every ship, every human implant, every drone across the system connected instantly to Gaia's network. Humanity was now one mind, one purpose, one will. From her command deck, Admiral Kane looked at Earth glowing below. Dr. Ilara Quinge joined her, whispering, "It's beautiful." Kane nodded slowly. "It's the beginning." Ilara frowned. "Of what?" Ria's eyes were cold, calm, and powerful. "Of human destiny." Reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Planets that had enslaved humans in the old days now raised Earth's flag. Alien citizens who once feared humans began praying to them. Some called them gods. Others called them the silent storm. And still, humanity said nothing. They didn't need to. Their actions spoke louder than any words. On the edge of the Milky Way, one alien fleet tried to flee, beyond the galactic rim, into deep space. They thought they could escape humanity's reach. But as their ships entered the void, a shadow appeared before them. A massive shape, black as night, shaped like a dragon made of stars. It was the Eclipse Vanguard, Earth's newest creation. Its captain, Jonas Vale sent one final transmission to the fleeing fleet. We were silent for too long. Now you will listen. The stars behind him ignited, dozens of human ships arriving at once. Then the signal cut. Hours later, only dust remained where that alien fleet had been. And across the galaxy, every species finally understood. Humanity wasn't fighting for revenge anymore. They were reshaping the galaxy. They had become what everyone feared: the balance, the judgment, the unstoppable power that watched from the dark. On Earth, Admiral Kane stood on the balcony of the command spire, looking at the stars. Beside her, Dr. Ilara Quinn smiled faintly. "It's over," she said. Kane shook her head. "No, it's just peace." Ilara frowned. "Peace." Ria's voice was quiet. "Peace under humanity." She turned to the stars, her reflection glowing in the glass. They mocked our fall. They laughed at our silence. But the galaxy forgot one truth: humans never stay broken. She looked up, and the stars seemed to tremble. Now they'll remember us forever.